Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about who would be the ultimate bourbon consultant. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Darren McElroy, Lenny Eckstein, and Bo Cumberland.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hey, y'all.
Hey-oh. So, yeah, we're going to have a good show today. We're going to be talking about people from the bourbon industry that we think would be good bourbon consultants. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Beka said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Beka?
I'm just wondering, how the fuck do you guys figure out where the hell to go on vacation? Especially if it's like a short vacation, a long vacation, anything like that. Like, let's say that you have 3 days to go on a vacation. Okay. How do you decide where to go?
Okay. Now, this is a good question.
I'm wondering. This is a real question because we discussed this at dinner all night.
Really? Okay.
Not just me and Royce and some friends, and they're like, well, let's go on a little short vacation. And I'm like, what the fuck are we going to do? And no one could decide anything because no one really had any real views or opinions on things. And it was very frustrating.
Okay. For me, this is an easy one. The short vacations, a 3-day vacation is very easy for me. I like, a drive so you can put a circle around where you want to go, within like 4 hours. And I like going on spa vacation. So I'm trying to explore all the spas that are around there. So it's a nice, relaxing weekend. Typically, a place that has a spa town type of place, typically has like good restaurants and so it's kind of relaxing. It's not, I think the ultimate relaxing vacation is a beach vacation, but that's not a little quick 3-day vacation for me. So, something like that. You get the spa. It's kind of get rid of your pains, your aches, and just kind of reset a little bit. And, also just, go out to restaurants and nightlife and things like that. So yeah, that's what I like.
I never pictured you as a spa guy, Steve.
Oh yeah. I love the spas. Yeah.
Big spa guy.
You make me rub your shoulder.
Yeah, sure.
Big
so
spa.
No, I like the spa. Yeah, I have my own robe now too, because some of them don't have big boy robes. I get there, the first one, the lady was like, "We don't have a robe your size, sir. We'll just give you an oversized towel." So I'm walking around a fucking spa with people in robes, and I got on like a fucking muumuu. I was like, I got my own robe I take with me now. It is disrespectful.
You brought your own.
I felt humiliated. It was either that or walk around, half covered. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that either. So yeah, I wore the muumuu for that one, but it never happened again. I'll tell you what, that's a one and done.
Interesting.
Sure. Yeah. Spa's nice.
So I'm pretty easy. Most of the time, I don't really plan. I went to Yellowstone during college and I just drove. And when I'd stop for gas or something, I would look for camping places, drive to that place, camp, drive.
You're not going to help Beck out with this because he does this shit all the time. I was like, what do you do yesterday?
The last person advice I need is Darren's.
Yeah, because he goes and sleeps in the woods. That to him,
I'm not trying to fucking camp.
I know. Exactly. He just
Darren,
goes and
I
sleeps
appreciate
in the woods.
what you do. I think it's
voice.
fantastic.
You have a voice.
For
but it's
you?
not helping out here. Yeah.
For you, that's great. For me, we're gonna have to move on. Lenny.
Well, so I think you might have a similar dilemma to what I have in a way, which is at best you're flying out of Louisville, right?
CVG. It's usually
They use
CVG.
Cincinnati, yeah.
Okay.
CVG
So
is
that's-
closer for us.
Um,
Yeah. So we can
okay,
either
that
fly or we can drive, and like CVG has a lot of direct flights to places. There's a
okay.
lot of those like short ones, direct flights and things like that. Or there's quite a few places to drive to, which is actually more of an issue than anything.
Yeah.
So
So much.
I guess like for me, there's nowhere I'm going to drive within 3 hours that I'm going to call a vacation because everything is 3 hours away. But I am more so when I lived close to Denver. So let's just say close enough to an airport. There were destinations that I would go to. So one of the things that disqualifies any destination that might sound good otherwise is I'm not down to fly in somewhere like any airport in Costa Rica, for example. And there's like one big one, one medium one. It's a minimum 1 hour ride from the airport to get anywhere good. So Costa Rica is out of the question for 3 days. But there's spots in Mexico, like, I haven't been to like flown into Cabo, but that seems like a really
Like
easy.
Juarez,
I'll fly
Mexico.
into
That's good.
Puerto Vallarta. I could get door to door, like my door to the beach, in like 5 hours. So that's a big qualifier. Is like how quickly can I be at my room on the beach, having a beer or a whiskey or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of those, and then also lately I've kind of geeked out a lot about like if I buy a silo full of malted barley, I can swipe a card that gets me points for Marriott. So I look for their properties that are extra awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see. I don't know. I was looking. There's one in California I was looking at, which isn't, it's not that exotic, but it's on the beach. It's kind of nice. But yeah, or Belize seems like a fairly decent option. Although from Belize City to get to anywhere it's long, so maybe not a good one. I like the quick to.
What about
like,
Bora Bora?
It's gotta be quick.
Bora Bora.
Yeah, well, not quick. Like Hawaii, pain in the ass to get to. Long
yeah?
flight.
Yeah.
It's cool, but not for 3 days.
No.
So I guess my one go-to from where we are in the country is usually flying to Puerto Vallarta, and then within like 30 to 40 minutes at most, you could be somewhere very awesome on the beach. I think Punta Mita is a really good option. Sayulita is great.
Sure. This is just making shit up now.
I'm not.
Quitiatava is good.
Like
Giragongo.
I'm shaking my head like I know anything in
Quesadilla is
Mexico.
pretty good.
I'm like,
This time of year.
Metapopol. Yeah, I love that place. Yeah. It's just
Coming with the good advice and getting insulted.
I like this. No, this is the stuff I want to hear.
I would be bummed. 3 days isn't enough beach time for me. So then I would be like, yeah, even getting there quick within 4 or 5 hours, because all you have 3 days is you got the travel day, and then you got a full day of the beach, which is nice, and then the third day you're heading back. Yeah.
So like I agreed with you, and I was like 100% no to that sort of thing.
Right.
But then, and this was forever ago, Amy and I got married in Mexico, and we decided we didn't have a lot of time to scope out some options in the town we decided we were gonna get married in. So we flew down for 3 days. Now the sucky part is I got super food poisoned by eating. Dumb idea. Don't ever order the shrimp on a stick on the beach. But I got so sick from eating that. I was like done for the whole trip. But you know what I realized? Like if it's a quick flight and you can make it happen and there's not a lot of logistics, 3 days on the beach is totally legit.
Yeah, I do like the beach unwind, man. The beach unwind is great, man. It's for me. It's true. That's where it's at. Darren's like, no, go just sleep in the woods. Bullshit. I'm
trying to sleep in a tree and get mauled by bears.
Sounds much more exciting than laying on a beach all day.
I'm trying to get shot by the cartel. Let's get over yourself here, Darren.
Yeah. All right, Bo, what do you think? Quick vacation.
Yeah, I don't think I can be of any help because I don't like anything less than 5 days. So if I have 3 days and I'm going to do something, I'm just going to stick around the house and go like tour a couple of distilleries and do that. But like I need 5 days.
Oh, You need to
3
live in
days
St.
is just
Louis.
enough to piss me
You know how much shit is around me in a 4-hour drive? There's so much that I can experience. I mean, it's unbelievable. I can be up in Iowa. I can be over in Louisville, Kentucky. I can be
But
in
see, that's
Kansas
the thing.
City.
I'm weird. I'm weird in the way that if there was something 4 hours from me, I would get up at 4 in the morning, drive 4 hours, get there 8 o'clock and 8, 9 in the morning, spend the whole day there, get in the car, drive all the way back in the same day.
Well, I do
I'm not
plenty of that
opposed.
too. I do that all the time. I mean, I
I
go
like
for a day a
driving.
lot. Yeah.
I even tell my work I would rather drive 12 hours than fly anywhere. Like if I have to go somewhere for work, I'd rather drive 12 hours than to fly for 5 or 6 hours and get where I'm going.
Yeah.
So, but just the three, if I have 3 days that I can do something, chances are I'm just going to stick around the house because it's not enough.
Where you live, 4 hours gets you to a major city at that point. So
We were debating driving over to Hard Truth.
Okay, that's a great place. That's a great place.
Allegedly there's more, there's quite a few things to do over in that general
There's a lot to do there.
Vicinity.
Yeah.
But then it was, let's go to Nashville, Indiana. Then it was, well, why don't we just go to Nashville, Tennessee?
Very crowded.
Like, well, that's
I'd
a
go to Nashville, Indiana.
completely different vibe.
It is.
Are you having a bachelorette party?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's all I think. I'm
You're
like,
not
that sounds
welcome.
like
You wanna sit in traffic, too?
expensive drinks and shitty people. I don't know.
Right.
That doesn't really sound fantastic. But Nashville, Indiana didn't sound too bad.
That'd been a good one.
For a few days, just like chill out.
Bear Wallow's there too. There's 2 good distilleries there. So Bear Wallow is in Nashville.
And there's some like just interesting things around. There's some cool Airbnbs too.
Yeah.
Like there's also like there's Bloomington, Indiana. I think that was right, like kind of close to it. There's 2 different Airbnbs I looked at that I liked. There was one in Bloomington that was a little bit cheaper but nice, and then there's one that was in Nashville, Indiana, that was a little bit nicer but a lot more expensive, but right like walking distance to some things and like right around like Hard Truth kind of area.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of like, do you want to spend more money? And I mean, it was a nicer place, frankly.
Yeah.
One other factor that I like to consider, I don't know if it factors for you guys, like massive change of scenery. Like you're not going to change your scenery too much in terms of like geography and what, I mean, plant life, whatever.
Right.
I like going to Tucson, Arizona a lot.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He brings up a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's warm in the winter.
Right.
It's a very
You say
manageable
worm?
little quirky city. What?
Did you say worm?
Maybe.
I think you said worm in the winter.
It's warm in the winter.
Worm in the winter.
That's the Philly accent coming out. It's really nice, like awesome mountains, cactus everywhere, nice trails, good restaurants. Like kind of and you can go visit the guys at Del Bach.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go down to Arizona the end of the month.
Oh,
Okay.
done.
So this is just supposed to
That'll
be
be
a very short little trip here. Maybe going tomorrow with two of our friends. We'll see. Who knows what's going to happen? We've got no clue what's going to happen this week, I guess.
Lenny, next year, this has nothing to do with a quick 3-day vacation because it's the logistics of getting there are harder. But I'm going to Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
Oh, I love that spot.
Yeah. Have you been there? I know you've talked about it. Have you? Oh,
I've
cool.
been there. I've got some friends who have property there,
Yeah.
and I'm always looking at little like even like little trailer properties,
Right.
like just something to, because you can drive down there from where I live fairly quickly, like 6 hours, and it's warm in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks awesome, man. I'll tell you, we've been researching it, and there's.
Are you going down just to sneak away?
Yeah, so we're going down. We used to like going to Mexico. We haven't been to New Mexico in like almost, it's like 8 years. So it's been a long time since I've been to Mexico. We want to go to Santa Fe, and then we're going to shoot down to Truth or Consequences just because you made it sound pretty interesting. And as I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's cool. And we're staying at this hotel that has themed things, but they have tubs in them that brings in the hot springs into it. So yeah, each room has, and it's different styles of tubs. It's like multi-person to single tubs to one doesn't even have a tub. It's got a shower that uses it, but we're staying in one that has one of the big tubs in it, which is nice. Its own patio too, which is cool.
It checks your spa box.
Yeah, it does. It works. It works for that. There you go. On that note, gang, guess what? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start this time with Darren. Darren, what do you got there?
I've got some Woodford Historic Barrel Entry Proof.
Okay. Oh, I had a lot going on there. Slosh, he punched the microphone.
Yep.
I do.
Yeah. So it's because he didn't stand. He
abandoned his standing
that
technique.
process. So next time.
Yeah. Okay. Lenny, you look like you're ready. What do you got?
Yeah, I've got some James B. Beam Claremont Steep.
Okay. Nice. Okay. That's the lead. That's the lead right there. Beka, you're next.
I've got, let's see here. I've got a new riff. This is their malted rye whiskey.
Okay.
Nice.
No, not enough. Lenny still has the lead. I've got Stumpy's here. So single barrel. No. Nope. Lenny's still got the lead. Bo, you're last but not least. What do you got, buddy?
I'm going to go with some Midway reclaimed and recharred finished rye whiskey. I picked it up yesterday at Bourbon on the Banks.
Okay. Wow. I think that might have been, I think that was enough. Bo doesn't win that often.
Oh, yeah.
You won.
I think he got it. I think Bo got it. So cheers, Bo.
Cheers.
I'm doing my victory lap.
Cork robber.
All right. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about whiskey consultants, who we think in the bourbon industry would do a good job at that. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. We're also sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop focuses exclusively on barrel picks. It's the job of owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnat to seek out distilleries that are making the best whiskey in the world, taste through their barrels, and select the ones that are off-profile in the best way possible. They have high standards and refuse to allow anything into their store other than something they would be proud to have their name on. This leads to some really awkward conversations with distilleries that can't make it, but they do it for you, their customers. Learn more about what is going on at their St. Louis-based store by heading over to abvbarrelshop.com. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
This is Danny Kennard, which is turning into Freddie Mills. Y'all have a good fucking day because this is the Bourbon Daily. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about who'd be a great whiskey consultant.
Yes, we are. So who do we think out there would be, a good person to talk to whiskey consultant wise? If we were getting ready to start a distillery, who would we want to lean on? Who could help us out?
Does this person have to be alive right now?
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna go.
You have to live on Earth.
They have to be alive right now. So
I didn't know if we could bring like E.H. Taylor back and help
sure,
have
that'd
him
be
help
fun.
us build a brand. Or
no, it's based in some realism.
Okay.
Now, whether or not these people ultimately want to be hired as consultants, that I can't answer to. But probably it's one of those things. If you have enough money, you can hire just about anybody. But we'll see. We'll see. So, with that framed out, who do we think could be helpful?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting because, like, my go-to might be various individuals who have such a strong persona that they've carried their brand from nothing to just baller. Like
Colin Spoolman.
Who?
Colin Spoolman.
Yeah.
Kings
Yeah,
County.
maybe.
It could be a good one.
What's that guy's name? Is it Aaron from Smoke Wagon?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
somebody who's just like the persona is very strong and like seems to really do a lot. Not to take away from the product, obviously.
Right.
But,
Yeah, I mean, he stole Bronner's looking persona, but yeah.
yeah. Martor.
Maybe Bronner was a consultant with him. and
There's
so-
a good whiskey consultant.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though: if you take away how charismatic someone might be and how that has carried their brand,
Uh-huh.
I don't know that they're a good consultant. You know, maybe that's what does it for them. So,
Right.
that's the gut instinct. I think what really makes one a good consultant is knowing their shit and knowing, like, you know, being able to steer in the right direction. And that's harder to
Right.
call, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a perfect example, I think, of what Lenny was trying to say. Like we had in Richard Paul, owner of Art of the Spirits. And Richard Paul, he comes in and he kills it for us. I mean, the audience loves that guy and they buy bottles and they connect with him. But could he consult? I don't think so. I think what makes him unique is his own personal story and the fact he's so real and things like that. He can't turn you into Richard Paul. That's the problem. Richard Paul is a very likable individual. He's got a great personal story, but can you mirror that? No, because what makes Richard Paul go is just being Richard Paul. So, yeah, that I think that's kind of along the lines of what you're saying, right, Lenny?
That's exactly right. You know, and
right.
again, not to take anything away, be it from Richard or that dude, Aaron.
Right,
Anyway,
right, yeah.
Maybe they would be great consultants, but I think the
Maybe, right.
charisma that they bring and their story is what strengthens their own brand and efforts thus far.
Yes, yeah, for sure. What about the Penelope guys? I mean, we just saw them go through 3 years, by the way. In 3 tremendous years, they went from nothing, like concept, to let's get this thing going, to getting it going, to somehow, some way turning it into magical, where it's the sweetheart of sourced brands, and then they sell out for huge dollars. I would think they would have a lot of potential. Now, again, they're still wrapped up in their deal for like the next 3 years, but once that's done, they're free agents. I would assume that the consulting dollars would be rolling in for them if that's something they want to do. I would guess.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like they hit both of those though, because any interview I've heard with those guys, you know, pretty dynamic, interesting stories. You know, that's I think a big part of their brand.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly, they know what they're doing as well.
Yeah. Well,
So
I think the difference is, do they have a great personal background? Is that what sold that company? I don't think so. It's a couple of buddies that
The hustle, you know.
the hustle, but they can teach that. I can teach someone to hustle. I can be like, here's what I did. Here's the events that I did, and here's how I would travel in, and here's how I would go into and work markets where they made sure that I had the presence there that they wanted. That I can teach. I can't
I
just
think
teach.
they're good businessmen.
Yeah, but you can teach. There's consulting that you can do with that to teach that. Again, can you teach the energy and passion that one individual has? I don't know that you can teach that because that's their own personal story. That's just a difference between Richard versus those guys, I think. Yeah.
Is this whiskey consultant supposed to help you like build a distillery? Are they supposed to
exactly.
like what?
It
What's
could be that.
no one yet has distilled anything.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
I say everyone we talked about has not done anything.
yeah, but so make a pitch for someone you think that could help someone building a distillery, someone doing that.
Yeah.
My husband would be good.
Your husband would be great. It would be great.
He'd be good at doing that.
I did throw out Colin Spoolman earlier, by the way.
Colin Spoolman,
He would be great.
He
Colin
would
be
also
great.
be fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think about somebody like Ken Lewis?
Ken Lewis, to some degree, yes.
big business.
I think Ken Lewis's greatest skill is assessing and hiring the right people and let them do it. I don't know that Ken was ever the hands-on guy of other than going back to the early days at the liquor store. He certainly built the brand, but then he was great at hiring people to run the things and do the things the right way, and then trusting them and allowing them to do that. That's a big thing for a boss too, to let the right people have the latitude they need. I mean, so there's things like that he could teach, but I think that, and great story. I mean, Ken Lewis to me should be in the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. It's a goddamn crime he's not. But I don't know when that's going to happen, but it should. But hopefully I don't have to get involved.
So the one I thought of, which is not
asking.
as good of an answer as anyone else has given, but I want to
Darren's like,
I would be a great whiskey.
I would kill it. And I could do this from either perspective, whether you're sourcing, whether you're building a distillery from the ground up, I can help with either of those. All right, good, Darren. Yeah, great job.
No, but Jimmy Russell, I think just because he's been in the industry so long, he's seen it through its bad times, through its good times. He knows what the market was doing at all of those. I think he would be the best partner, most interesting one.
I mean, maybe a few years ago,
right?
He's getting a little old.
He is getting old.
I'm not saying that the knowledge is not there anymore, but to actually help consult, he's
83 or 84, 85.
Does he have one of those?
I mean, he's good for Congress at least.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say we let people run our country that old. They can run a distillery.
This is true.
No,
He can run for Senate or something. So yeah,
you know. So a guy I'm friends with out here by the name of Jake Norris, he was the original distiller at Stranahan's and then the first distiller at Laws, and now he is a consultant. So it's not like it would be a stretch to say he would be a good one or one. But I don't know if any of you guys have ever met him. He's a really interesting character. More than anyone I know, epitomizes like shoots from the hip, like just calls it like it is. And he's the kind of consultant that if you came at him and said, hey, I got this idea, I'm going to make a bourbon with buckwheat and I'm going to age it in whatever and do this, he'd look at you straight and be like, well, that's a great idea if you don't like money. Yeah. So let's do it the right way. And I think that in a sense is necessary for a good consultant, just to temper the ridiculous
enthusiasm,
or for that matter, to temper the we're going to do this and it's going to be exactly like everyone else does it. I think you want a consultant that would say, cool story, everyone does that. What is your differentiator? What are you going to do? Like, you need that kind of person who, has the vision to take it in different directions or steer it close enough to center.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
I mean,
Lisa Wicker does it. Does that? And I think she's a great consultant.
That was another person I was going to say, but she already does it. So I mean,
she does it. Obvious. She does it. I don't know that the audience knows she does all that. Maybe they do. I don't know, but yeah, Lisa Wicker certainly. And we're talking not source brands with her. We're talking about distillery things, and she's done it all from small distilleries to large ones. So she's pretty good. What were we going to say, Darren?
Dan Garrison.
Garrison. Yeah,
because he started the craft distillery. He understands that he had to overcome a lot of stuff. He's changed how he does stuff many times.
Right.
I think that would be a great one to have consulting.
All right, Lenny. Here's what I want to run by you, because he certainly has the knowledge. He's certainly creative. I don't know if he's the right guy for it though. Todd Leopold. I mean, what do you think about him?
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it with has the knowledge. Definitely creative, thinks in the right directions.
Right.
That could be interesting. Like maybe Todd gets
it. Certainly works for his own company. Does that translate? Can he teach others, to do things a different way?
I guess I like it from the angle that if he was ever to choose that, I think he comes from a place of like, the easy route isn't really worthwhile. Like if you're going to do it, do it. And, study the history of it and make sure
he lives that. Yeah, 100%. Exactly. I agree with that. Yeah,
I think that's a good ethos to bring to new endeavors, and that would be a huge breath of fresh air compared to some directions.
Darren died, folks. So we're just moving on.
That water will kill you.
Yeah, he's choking on water.
No longer just the consultant for hire.
Yeah, he's out.
I think really it depends on two things. If the person, no matter what distillery they work for or started, if they're a good teacher I think that's got to be the key. But I think somebody who started their distillery from bare bones and built it up, I think that qualifies somebody better than somebody who had investors. If somebody had, $500 million investment and they could start with the best of everything and just go in doing that, they don't have quite a story to tell as somebody that says, my first 5 years, we were doing, 1 10-gallon barrel a day off of whatever.
So you're saying like Lenny? Lenny would be
somebody exactly like Lenny.
I think Lenny would be a good consultant. I don't think we can overlook Lenny. He built his own brand and did it by himself. And I think Lenny would be a good consultant.
But to Beka Sue's point, I think that's what makes Royce a good candidate too. He started off bare bones and worked from nothing to what he has, and Lenny's done the same. I think there would be two perfectly good candidates for that job.
Yeah. Lenny's not interested though, because he gets that Seelbach money. So I don't need the consulting money. I've got Seelbach money. So.
Yeah, Lenny doesn't need any of our money.
I just don't like being told what to do. So if I was a consultant, I guess I'd tell people what to do. But
that's what a consultant does.
Working for them, so they get to tell me what to do. I don't know, Bo. I kind of agree with you from the angle of like a good consultant should have started from scratch without big dollars flowing in. But at the same time, I think anyone giving it a go, really does need that insight of like, so how does this work? How does it work on the small side? How does it work as we scale up? Mm-hmm. How does distribution scale? How does, what if we take on all this? Like, are we ever going to be bought out if we, or will anybody ever come sniffing around at this scale? Like, you need to know all facets, and I don't know that, but some people have seen it all, so.
Some people have seen it all. There you go. Well, there you go. There's just some ideas. The ultimate bourbon consultant. Maybe you're considering starting a distillery, whether it is a actual distillery where you're distilling or you're doing a source brand. There's some ideas for you. And please, if you use any of them, just send us all a check. That would be nice.
We'll need that for sure.
That'd be pretty awesome. All right. As we wrap this one up, we'll talk about where people can find us. We're going to start with you, Darren. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventures.
Lenny.
You can find me and the rest of Deer Hammer on social media at Deer Hammer, on the web at deerhammer.com. And you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado.
Oh.
I'm on all the socials at My Journey Through the American Spirit and Bourbon Sasquatch. That was just a little bit extra.
Yeah, no extra charge for that. That's an idea of what you get with Bo as a consultant right there. All right, Miss Beka Sue, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. That's the one you got to check out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. Check us out online at abvbarrelshop.com. Ms. Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Farness will have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some of the great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro is owned and operated by Russell Creed, who makes stills for the hobby distiller. He offers a one-stop shop for everything the at-home distiller needs. Whether it's a small, experimental stovetop still or something bigger you run outside, he has the still or parts you would have difficulty fabricating yourself if you were trying to build a DIY still project. Additionally, he has resources to assist in creating unique distilled spirits, including heirloom grains, barrels for aging, and recipes. Check out Russell's company online at moonshinestillpro.com. Finally, I have a question for you. Have you ever boxed a bear? Of course not. That'd be silly. Bears really don't follow the rules, so shots in the back of the head, punches to the nuts, and scrums after the bell would be the norm. A better idea would be to enjoy Boxing Bear Whiskey, a brand crafted by Nobleton's Distilling House in Union, Missouri, and sold exclusively at the ABV Barrel Shop in suburban St. Louis. This is a popular offering that sells out quickly, but when you're in town, stop by the ABV Barrel Shop and see if they have it in stock. Better yet, sign up for their email and text distribution over at abvbarrelshop.com and you'll know exactly when it is in stock. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.